You're right there, YouTube. It is Krakoon again, bringing you another gameplay slash commentary, man. And more specifically, you're right there, LGU, because if you're watching this, that means it's being uploaded to LGU's channel, and I'd like to thank LGU for doing so. But pretty much a little explanation of this gameplay. This is going to be my entry to the nuke challenge. The nuke challenge. Getting my goddamn challenges mixed up. What am I on about? The Black Ops Domination challenge. Most captures, most defends, and whatever happens along the way with kills and what have you. And this is probably going to be a bit different from some of the other gameplays you may be going to see. For instance, some of the other gameplays may be using high streaks to boost their kills or what have you. But I'm using all non-lethal kill streaks, and generally that just means I can remain on the ground, be able to help my team out by capturing and defending points and all that kind of stuff. And I'm aware that I could have got a better score at the end if I didn't decide to just run my gun only kills instead of getting lethal kill streaks mixed up in there. But I don't know. I rate this will suffice, really. I think it's the best way to try and maintain being a team player and capturing points and all that kind of generality of things, because all my streaks are gonna, no matter what streak I'm using, it's all gonna help my team out, and that's kind of a big part of what being a team player is and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, man, I'm also pretty lucky as well at the same time, because I'm running solo this game, and it was lucky that I had a relatively decent team of all randoms. But I've always kind of considered myself a bit of a lone ranger and team player when it comes to situations like this. And whenever you want to maybe play an objective game type and you don't have a team, I've always been like seen myself to be capable to maintain a win, you could say, or something like that. But it kind of brings me to a point, really, that I was thinking to myself, because obviously I've said that I consider myself more of a team player than a kill whore when it comes to objective game modes and all that kind of stuff. But funnily enough, my favourite game type is TDM, where obviously the objective is to get kills. So there's kind of a big thing as well about how people can be judged on being a more skilled player or being a generally better player because they play in objective game modes and do better in that. So I was thinking about my outlook upon this, being primarily a TDM player, but seeing myself as kind of flexible to go to other game modes with ease and be able to perform in them. And like I said, there was a no. Well, first off, let me know what you think about this, what I'm going to say now, in the comments, because I'm only going to say it and then I don't want people to bitch about it and stuff like that. So just tell me what you're thinking about it anyway. But to measure somebody's skill within a particular game mode featuring an objective is it's kind of daft, really. If you just my point being is, because to get a real grasp of how good somebody is within any game, you've got to be able to see how they conform to other scenarios, and only then, once you've seen that, you can judge somebody on how their performance is under a variety of different game modes. And I don't know, it's a bit daft, really, when people say oh, he's a better player because he does really good in search and destroy, rather than doing really good in a team deathmatch or a domination or something like that. Which kind of leads me on to my point about domination, because obviously the most similar game type comparable to domination is TDM. So the traverse to this game mode is easier for a TDM player. So I was thinking I'm probably going to start a little series on my channel, or maybe I might try and submit it to LGU or something like that. But I was going to start a little series about me going through all different game modes within the game, and you being able to judge me on my performance and my all around good kind of like how much of a good player I am or how much of a bad player I am, you could say. And I'm not bothered really, but for instance though, like back to my original point, how I was saying about how people are judged upon uh, being a better player than somebody else who's like specializes within a different game mode. For instance, I reckon like that there's people that believe that that if you are extremely good in search and destroy, then by that factor it then makes you better than somebody who is extremely good in TDM. And it's a so I think like to analyze a player by just that factor alone, whether or not they're good. Like for instance, if they're in the leaderboards and they're like number one, just for like a hypothetical, if they're in the leaderboards and they're number one in search and destroy, then saying they're better than the person who's number one in the leaderboards in TDM is like a more well-rounded player or something like that. So I don't know, it's kind of all irrational really how people can maybe get so uptight about how they say people are better players because they're better in this certain game mode or something like that. But also, I'm not denying the fact that you have to be extremely skilled to play some of the game, some of the objective game modes, because obviously you've got to have a lot of skill in search and destroy to have like be able to remain constantly alive and be able to win in that game. And obviously the objective more in that is to remain alive and plant like the bomb on the objectives as well as defending it, and along the way you've got kills, so it's never really search and destroy isn't really a kill whoring game mode. So I don't know, it's a pretty interesting fact really that like whereas in TDM a 30-0 gameplay could be like out rivaled by a search and destroy clip of where somebody gets like a 5-man spray or a quad feed or something like that. You understand? So I don't know, it's just the way the developers perceive it. I get a 7-3 split, 7 captures, 3 defends, 27-4. Oh, gun on gun, you're done, son. And thanks, LGU, and peace.